Alright, so a few days ago in a video, I mentioned the possibility that I would be making Overwatch videos, and a lot of people seem to have a positive response to it, and a lot of people were interested. So I'm going to be talking about in this video my experience with ranked play, because that's kind of like the latest thing that's been going on in Overwatch. Ranked play was recently released for console. It first came out on PC, then Xbox, and then following a few days later, it came out on PS4 along with the McCree nerf, the long-awaited McCree nerf that a lot of people have been waiting for. Personally, I never really thought McCree was that amazing. Mobility wasn't great. Obviously, stun fanfire has had its problems, but in this video, I just want to go over my experience with ranked play. I've been playing at least 3 to 4 hours a day since it was released on PlayStation, and I've been having a really good time with it, staying up very late in the morning, and I've gotten a lot of experience with it. So starting off with my placement matches, I played 10 placement matches, which is the number, I guess obviously, that's obvious, you have to play in order to be ranked in the system. The 20 is the lowest, 100 is the highest. If you're not ranked at all, you haven't completed your placement matches, it'll automatically count you as a 20, which is the lowest rating. And at the time where a lot of my friends were not ranked, I was ranked 70 because I got placed at a 69 after my 10 games. I was disconnected out of one of them and I lost the other. I believe I was playing in a 3 or 4 man for all of my placement matches. So what ended up happening is you cannot play with anyone who is above 50 your rank. So if you're level 70 or rank 70 and your friend is unranked yet and you're wondering why all of a sudden when you hit 70 that you can't play with him, that would be the reason why. Just thought I'd throw that in there because it did kind of confuse a few people. But what I've noticed is that healers do not get a lot of recognition in ranked mode. I have a really good healer who's part of my team for like tournaments and all that, who's a really good healer, and he gets a ton of healing per game, but he was only ranked as a 59, I believe, when he came out of ranked play. Once he finished his matches, all the healers generally do not get a very good rank. All of the slayers and DPS players, if you're playing in like a 3 or 4 man, you get a ton of experience and you get very highly rated. So if you're trying to just like basically just try to hog the ranking and get as high of a ranking as you can, I would suggest something along the lines of Reaper, McCree, Soldier, Genji. Genji at times, if you're a good Genji, obviously it's going to work out well, but putting out a lot of damage, objective kills, it's definitely going to help you out. And of course, winning all of your games, that's kind of the obvious thing. The only thing that I have to kind of complain about, which I can't, it's not really entirely a valid complaint, it's kind of the point of ranked play, is that when you're playing at night and you're playing in a 6-man, and you're running into teams who are, because at the very beginning of every game it'll show the average rank of each team and it'll kind of display who would be the underdog in that situation, and most of the time that team, if they ended up pulling it out of their butt and winning, they get a lot of experience. And if you beat them because you're the preferred player or the preferred team, you really don't get much experience at all. There's been situations where we've gone like 12 games and we've won 12 in a row and not ranked up, and then we lose one game and lose a rank and a half. So it can be a little bit frustrating, can be I guess discouraging to play, but that's I guess kind of the purpose of it. If you're not in the mood to try hard and call out and play with good teammates, ranked really isn't a good option for you. It's not something where, you know, you're getting Doritos late at night with a big, you know, beer or thing of milk or whatever, and you want to sit down and play ranked. That's not kind of how it is. If you're not going to try and you don't want to win or whatever, then just going into quick play is your best bet. I've had it a few times where we've just kind of ran in and had fun and not really called out or communicated or anything, and we ended up losing a lot of rank in that day. So I would highly recommend that if you're not in the mood for trying, then just stay out of ranked entirely. It really doesn't do any harm, of course, unless you're only trying to get the gold guns, which you have to get through 300 wins and you really have no care as far as your rank goes, then you can just play all day. But if you lose a lot of games, you're going to lose a lot of rank fast. Just as a side note, a lot of people are thinking that if you play with less people that you get more experience, because a lot of people play in 6-mans and you literally level up like 1/12 of a rank per game, and when you lose, you lose a ton of experience. And the main reason for that is because if you're playing with a 6-man team and you're bringing these 5 other people into ranked with you, chances are, if you want to bring them into ranked, that they're good players and that they're highly ranked as well. So if your team average is really high, you're probably not going to get as much leveling as someone who, if you're like, you know, even if I'm like a level 70, if I'm playing with another level 70 friend and then we 2-man queue and our teammates are all like 50s, 55s, whatever, we get a lot more experience for winning that game because we have lower level people on our team. In the instance that maybe your friends are really good but they solo queued for their placement matches and they got ranked really low, I know a lot of good players who ended up getting ranked in the 50s and 60s, low 60s, high 50s, mid 50s. If you play with them and you can win a ton of games, that's super efficient, because you're guaranteeing that you have a good teammate, but you're also guaranteeing that you get more experience. I did this for around 4 hours, and I went from rank 72 to rank 75 in one day by winning, I think it was around 4 to 5 games. So if you're trying to rank up as quick as possible, of course there's still a risk that you'll lose, but if you're just trying to power rank, most of the time the most efficient way to do that would just to be able to play with either you and like 2 other people that you're super confident in, or if you have like a full party of people that you know are good players and that can work well with you as a team, but just happen not to be ranked that well through their placement matches. That's just kind of a personal statement and what I've noticed for my time playing ranked so far. Another thing that I noticed that can be a little bit discouraging at times is if you tie with a team on zone control or payload, you end up having to flip a coin. One person gets flipped to attack, the other person gets flipped to defend. And on certain maps, attack is better, certain maps, defense is better. It also comes down to the team you're playing with, the comp you guys are comfortable with. Sometimes people like to go with like extreme attack comps on console, like double Winston. It just doesn't work out. It can be pretty stressful. And if you blow the match by not winning, basically technically it's overtime or it's a tiebreaker, it can be really discouraging. So you kind of have to deal with losing from that. I've lost a few overtimes. If you guys are wondering, because I did mention earlier that I'm ranked 75, I was, I think, number 5 in the world for a few days or a day and a half. So I'm going to go ahead and show my stats on screen for those who are interested. Though my rank has dropped since then, it's pretty much just from losses and playing with randoms. But my KD, which really doesn't matter at all, but my stats in general have stayed around the same. One more thing I wanted to add is if you didn't do very well during your placement matches, maybe you're playing by yourself or with a friend who wasn't all that great, you got placed in like the high 50s or the low 60s and you want to rank up. A lot of people just want to get in the 70s, I feel like. If you have any good friends or teammates who are in the 70s and you can play in a 6-man full of everyone who's in, you know, high 60s or low 70s and you're the only person that's lowly ranked, most of the time you're going to end up playing against really good teams, and if you win against those teams you get a lot of experience, but if you lose you also don't lose as much experience, which is really nice. So it's kind of, you have to balance out like playing with different ranked of players. Rank doesn't really matter all that much to a lot of people. I didn't think it would matter at all for me, but over time, as I saw my rank and when I was like 5 in the world or whatever, I started caring about it a little bit more. But that's kind of it for the video. I just wanted to give my experience with ranked play so far. In short, you guys, it's really difficult to just get like a good rank. You have to do really well during your placement matches. Healers are not rewarded as much as they should be, in my opinion, which is kind of unfortunate, because if you're the person who's just the nice guy that volunteers to be the team healer and you don't get rewarded with that at all, it can be a little bit annoying, I feel like. Although I was never the healer, I feel like that's how most of them feel. There are still issues with it, like overtime and all that, which I feel like should be resolved pretty soon. All in all, I feel like ranked is a really fun game mode, but it can be pretty frustrating for some people at times, especially if you don't know how it works and don't have a general sense of how the ranking works, how matches work and all that. So I just wanted to make this video because I went into ranked blind, not really knowing at all how anything worked, and I just wanted to give my experience to some people who might now just be entering ranked and playing for the first time. But I hope you found this video enjoyable or entertaining and maybe even helpful. But if you enjoyed it, then that's my mission. My mission is complete, and I hope I see you guys in my next video. Peace.